Oh, hi there. I'm really excited to be joined by Connor from GlobalNet. They're a managed IT and cybersecurity services leading firm in the UK who we've been working with for the past 6 months, I think. Today, Connor's just going to give a reflection on his experience with lead searchers. And Connor, welcome. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day today.
You're more than welcome, Sean.
So look, Connor, first of all, let's start, maybe just describe like who you are and what you do for work.
Yeah, so we're GlobalNet IT Innovation. Our speciality is IT support, cyber security, even telecom. So we have a good team here behind us, about sort of 10 to 15 engineers who we're able to work across the whole world, to be honest with you, Sean. The majority of our clients obviously are based within the UK, but where we do a lot of remote setup, we are able to cater to companies outside the UK with our remote services.
As we can see over the past month, there's been some major breaches cybersecurity wise in retail and legal. So, we've managed to get some pretty powerful emails out to your prospective customers with some pretty good reaction. So what were you struggling with before signing up? What was your business like?
Our main difficulty was generating leads, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
My background itself has always been in sales, so used to speaking to prospects over the phone, face to face. But where we were struggling is I didn't have the leads to speak to in the first place. So that's where you come in and was able to provide us with leads, where we was able to then sink our teeth into and get conversations going.
Absolutely. Leads are always a bit of a challenge, and it's such a competitive environment in cybersecurity. Maybe you could outline, how did my services help you solve what you were struggling with?
Well, it cut out the middleman in a sense where we didn't have to go out and get the leads. In a sense, you spoke to the leads, you qualified the leads, and then you passed it over to us to then do our work. So from my point of view, all I had to do was confirm the information you provided to us, and then from that we then went to the next stages without having to deal with 55 different gatekeepers to get one yes or no.
Sure. So it kind of cut out that extra graft that you have to do.
Correct.
Kind of cold calling and getting on the phone and doing all that stuff that people sometimes find a bit exhausting.
Yeah, you made my life a lot easier, that's for sure.
Maybe you could take me through. We've had a few meetings. What was the standout meeting that you've had that I generated for you?
Funny enough, Sean, it would have been the very first one you ever gave us. It was a solicitor firm.
Right.
They had three offices across Kent and London. It was all managed by one IT person who was, in nice ways to put it, very overworked and very overstressed. So we was able to go in, perform a penetration test, which outlined numerous amounts of issues. And from that, we've then been able to provide a price and a quotation for them to use our services. That would have been the best meeting we've had, the most powerful one, because from start to finish, it's been we haven't had a single objection from this company yet, which is good.
Like a lot of my clients have, they've got quite long sales cycles. You go in with a penetration test, you prove value, they sit back a while, they look at it, and it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. This isn't the type of product where you can go in as a stockbroker, for example, and then say, I've got this on the market, how much do you want? There's discovery calls, there's qualification meetings, there's the actual meeting itself where we try and ascertain what they need.
You've got your opportunities in the pipeline that, at the end of the day, you wouldn't have had we not been doing the program.
Absolutely, yeah, correct. What I would say is you've kind of given us the opportunity to kind of offer a different service. You gave us that retail lead once where what they was looking for wasn't something we currently provide. However, upon speaking to the prospective client, we've then decided maybe this is an avenue we can look into, because they had offices in the US where they require 24-hour service. That's not currently a service we provide, but by having that meeting which you generated for us, that kind of made us think, well, maybe this is an avenue we need to go down. Broaden our horizons.
That's really useful to understand that. So I think it was we had some things in the news with Marks and Spencers, with Harrods, with a few retail companies. The Co-op were breached and hacked. Mm-hmm. Pretty serious things were happening in the retail space. So I went ahead and did a retail campaign, not your normal sweet spot, but we were saying, I think that was the sector. Then actually we can do something in this, because you had some good meetings generated. Is that right?
and we wouldn't have done that unless we had that lead.
Excellent. Well, that's really good to know. That's really positive information. I think, getting through to people on the cold email, especially when it comes to cybersecurity and all those what are normally kind of what we call spam keywords, that was kind of a very difficult avenue to gauge because I had to use words that weren't triggering spam. We wanted to get you in the inbox. So we managed to word the campaigns in a way that were communicating the danger and the cybersecurity aspect without actually going into the junk folder. We're coming down to land now, but I don't know. What's one piece of advice you'd have for other clients? I mean, to get the most out of our services.
I would advise to have a strong and already know your target market you're looking for. Absolutely. I feel like for a company to be very successful, it'd be better for them to have a strict guideline on the type of company they're looking for. And that would make your life easier as well because you know what to go for.
Yeah, I think that's really useful insight. So it's what we call the ICP, or the ideal client profile.
Yeah, what we find with IT is even if a company's working with another organization and they're terrible, they're not necessarily going to change there and then, because that's when it's really difficult for us to go in and say, well, we're great at all of it, because they don't then want to have to do the changeover and build a relationship with another company.
Yeah, so really, it's really relationship building, opening that door early. I mean, I've had clients that have netted sales, 6 to 8 months to 12 months after the first contact. And, they've told me, rung me up and say, look, we got that sale in, and some of the clients I'd stopped working with, and they're telling me how they'd won a sale ages afterwards. So yeah, I mean, what you're saying is very true. It's not always, they get to know you, you keep in touch, you put them in your CRM, you keep dripping with more information, and they can come in later. Yeah. I don't know. What would you say to someone who is considering working with us?
I would say it's worth a go. And the reason why I'd say that, as I said, Sean, I've worked in sales 12 to 15 years now in multiple different sectors. Yeah. And more or less every single one of them, we've had some kind of lead generator or lead provider there. Now, a lot of the lead providers we've worked with, they're in it for them to make their money. Now, I'm not saying you're not in it to make your money. Of course you are. But however, you set it up is you only make good money if we make money ourselves and we get good meetings. So that then incentivizes you to provide us with those good meetings. Whereas you're a bit different in a sense where you need that meeting to be quality. Otherwise, ourselves and other people won't work with you again. So for you, it's more of
that's interesting.
Quality over quantity, which is really important.
Well, it's all about, it's kind of like unlocking that secret code sometimes, because I believe that's really going to help someone understand about how email at scale works, and it'll give them the insight they need.
No, I think it's been a pleasure working with you, Sean, and hopefully we continue to do so for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to crack on with the campaigns, and as we speak, we're switching sectors now because of what's happening in the marketplace. So we're actually being proactive, and we're moving from, I think we're moving from the legal sector back into manufacturing literally at the moment, because we think there's going to be more fruit on that side of things. So yeah, it's all about pivoting when you need to. Okay, Con, look, I really appreciate again you taking time out to share, and have a great day, and I'll speak very soon.
No worries. You take care of yourself, Sean.
All right. Cheers. Cheers.